turnover guys who can make open shots.
And officials here, Blake Smith in his 26th NCAA tournament and a couple Final Fours. John Gaffney, 7 Sweet 16s, and Michael Greenstein has had 4 Sweet 16s and 16 NCAA tournaments. And away we go. Falslev goes down low.
And you can see off the start, these two big guys are going to guard each other, even though there's a big size difference.
Martinez can't hit. Inside, oh, look at Johnson. Grappling with 80. Now the tie-up. Utah State's ball.
That's a great effort for Utah State to get an extra possession. But we saw, Dan, on the first possession, it's not the 7-footer Johnson on Edey. It's great Osibor because you're more concerned with bulk and strength than you are with height.
Well, usually you would think, okay, I got a 250-pound guy. He's going to outweigh his opponent. But no, not in this case.
Darius Brown, one of the best guards in the country. And they go inside. Double-teamed is Osibor. Out of bounds, the shot clock at 9.
It's a good rotation by Braden Smith, who is a very tough guy.
And it'll be very interesting to see how Edey handles Osibor, because Osibor dribbles the ball very well.
Johnson a 3, the big man can't hit. The rebound is lassoed by Braden Smith. And he comes the other way. Postman ring down low. To Johnson, knocked away, foul called Utah State. And they'll put it on Johnson for the first time.
Well, they don't run a lot of sets for Kaufman-Renn, but in transition, he runs and gets deep posts up, and he's very good down there. We see it in the few minutes where Edey is out of the game.
Kaufman-Renn from Sellersburg, Indiana, and Silver Creek High School. They were a 2-time state champion, and he was the Indiana High School Player of the Year, a sophomore with another try. Rebound. Johnson's got the ball. 28 wins for the Aggies of Utah State, one of the best seasons they've had in the history of their program.
Lance Jones always guards the other team's point guard.
One big man to another. It was Johnson to Osibor.
Well, they worked on this yesterday, Dan. They want to do a lot of big pick and rolls. Johnson and Osibor screening for each other.
And they both of the Purdue big guys went to Johnson, and that left Osibor all alone.
It's the guard matchup we were talking about. Braun watching Smith go inside, chiseling his way, but doubled right there. It's knocked out of bounds, Falslev. With this defensive deflection for the Aggies.
And this is what you're talking about, Stan. Edey, he's trying to get back, and then for some reason he turns and he comes back to the ball, and that leaves Osibor, all alone.
Well, look, they'll adjust quickly, Matt Painter. They were confused there. We haven't seen a lot of that from Utah State, the big pick and rolls. And so now they'll just have to get cleaned up on what they want to do on those, but an easy first shot for Osibor.
Willard Akers with a turnover right there with a 30-win season, the #1 seed, winning the Big Ten again with a 17-3 regular season record. The Aggies, the #8 seed, they've got a 28-6 record out of the Mountain West in the regular season, 14-4. That was a terrific conference this past season.
This is what they want to create, is now Edey is on Johnson. And so Edey has to be out on the perimeter rather than protecting the basket. So if Purdue is going to switch that screen like they did, they can attack the basket more.
Falslev got it to go with the drive. Edey down low and double, and he finds Kaufman-Renn.
He's just so good being patient in there.
He really is. You can't bother him because he gets the ball up, and then Kaufman-Renn's a great cutter.
Sabor down the lane. Edey with the rebound.
But those screens have been effective now. They're able to get the ball to the basket.
Jones, 3, rebound, tie. Ahead it goes, Osibor. Collision, and got the 2, and Edey fed it.
This is an interesting matchup because Osibor, 6'8", 250 pounds, but he moves very well, and he can really handle the ball.
And he would rather finish with his left hand.
Edey again in there and being swiped at, clawed at, shoved inside, foul Johnson. He'll pick up his second.
Wow, that hurts him for him to have 2 already. But look at this finish. And Osibor can go either way, but he would rather finish with his left hand.
Now that was an interesting sequence because Purdue scores and then Utah State gets it right down the court, and Osipor does a nice job beating Edey down.
Well, and Johnson having to go to the bench hurts them because now when they run that big pick and roll, Purdue can switch and Sacco is not a threat on the perimeter. Edey can still stay inside and protect the basket.
Jones sneaking in, but could not make it work, and Brown the other way. They like to lose as Sacco coming in. It's a two-point shot by Brown. Edey rebound. And Smith the other way. Total to the middle all the time. Hoffman around. Turns it.
You don't understand what a good post guy Kaufman-Renn is. He does a great job getting inside. Edey's down there with him usually, so he's overshadowed. But that's just a great job going to the offensive board. Now, he's missed his first 2 free throws. He's only a 55% free throw shooter on the year.
See what Utah State does now. They spent a lot of time talking about how to attack Edey, but a lot of it was that big pick and roll. They can't really get anything out of that with Sacco.
A freshman and a good one. Terrific effort. Osipor drives across the lane and nipped in foul.
Why would you go for a shot fake from Osipor at the three-point line? He's a guy who has made 3 threes on the year.
Now, Osipor wasn't shooting that ball. He was trying to throw
that was a
lob
pass. He tried to throw a lob.
Kaufman-Renn picks up the Boilermaker foul.
And they get it corrected.
Yeah, you're right, Osipor. 3 for 12 on the year shooting threes.
You go for a shot fake at the three-point. And those are the things that drive coaches crazy.
Osipor cross court. Brown first team all-conference point guard. Jones is up on it. Screen, Sacco. Falsford will put up a three.
It's not his game. Falsford is not a good three-point shooter.
Edey the rebound. Smith on the run. Led by the defense of Martinez. Mid-range shot. Kaufman again. And he is chewing him up inside.
Kaufman-Renn doing work on the glass. Already his second offensive rebound. So concerned with Edey that actually both bigs there went to block out Edey. Nobody gets a body on Kaufman-Renn.
But now, Johnson has 2 fouls. He's out of the game. Sacco has 2 fouls. He's out of the game. So Utah State is going to go deeper into their bench than normal.
And a player who did not even play on Friday. A freshman from Fairview, Texas. Carson Templin is checked in.
Templin is not bad, though. He's pretty athletic. He's a very tough kid. He's not going to back away from this battle.
Martinez. Osipor. Cross court. Goes it away. A 6-0 run by Purdue. The Aggies and the Boilermakers with a chance at the Sweet 16. TCU, the Aggies did on Friday in their first tournament win after 10 consecutive tournament losses. And then Grambling, tough in the first half, and Purdue pulled away in the second.
Yeah, and then today we see right off the bat with Utah State, 2 big guys, Johnson and Sacco, each pick up 2 fouls early and are out of the game, Dan. But the problem is, you sort of understand it trying to guard Edey, but only one of those fouls is against Edey. They have fouled Kaufman-Renn 3 times.
And Kaufman-Renn has been very active, taking advantage of all the attention directed toward Edey.
And we knew we'd see this a lot tonight. Utah State in a 1-3-1 zone. This one a little different than the other night, where they play the big guy in the back. And a great rotation from Falsford deflected it off of Edey out of bounds.
Well, this is a really good job here because not only is it a 1-3-1 zone, but there's some pressure, and they're forcing Purdue to throw that long pass.
Well, their 1-3-1 the other night, I thought, turned the game against TCU in the first half, but they played it differently the other night with Darius Brown in the back. Now, because of Edey, they're going to play the big guy in the back.
Martinez, 15-footer.
And that's the shot they have to make. because Zach Edey is not going to come out and come out on that screen. He is going to drop back, and if you can get that 15, 20-foot jumper, you've got to make it.
Edey Lance Jones the assist.
Well, you see what Purdue does. They don't bring Edey to the strong side. They leave him on the weak side, so your back man, the defender, gets caught off his body. If we're going to keep a big guy low, I'd keep his body on Edey.
First two from Zach Edey. Possible. Kaufman right in front. And on top. Temple a three. Rebound by Kaufman-Wren. He's got 3 rebounds already. Doubled, knocked away. Edey's pass. Deflected by Osibor and leads the Martinez break with a 3 on the fly.
Well, he had 21 points the other night. Was a big part of that win over TCU. And Utah State's going to go back to the man-to-man.
Well, Utah State does not rely heavily on the 3, but that's a pretty good formula for beating Purdue. Force turnovers and make 3s.
Kaufman-Wren 3.
I'd be happy if Kaufman-Wren were out there. He was doing damage around the basket. Stay out at the 3-point line. I'm happy for Utah State.
Another 3 by Martinez.
21 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists the other night. He was 3 for 7 from 3, and now already makes his first 2 tonight, or 2 of his first 3.
Yeah, the last play for the Aggies. Kaufman-Wren trying to grind. Smith on top, shot clock at 7, into Edey, back to Kaufman-Wren. On top, Smith 3.
Well, Brady Smith, 44% three-point shooter.
He always seems to be able to make a shot when you need one.
This is Brown. Wheeling inside. On top, Martinez tees up a 3. And fouled on the play by Braden Smith on the shot.
Smith is in a little bit of a disadvantage. Martinez about 4 inches tall, and he shot the last 2 right over Braden Smith. So Smith is trying to get up on him and pressure him a little bit more. And he get in there, and the referee thought he hit him on the floor.
Either that or thought he was in his landing area on the legs. I don't know what the guy thought, but I do think that he hit him in the lower body for sure. I think it was a good call.
So Martinez at the line, who has had a couple of stops before Utah State. He played a year at Utah. He played 2 years at Maryland. Did Martinez at the line. And here he goes, an 86% free throw shooter with 9 quick points already for the Utah State Aggies. He's taken a 3, the second of 3 right there. Incomplete coverage of the NCAA Division I Women's Tournament on NCAA.com.
Kevin, I got to say, we talk about all these transfers now in college sports, and they're going everywhere. My brother, way ahead of his time on that. He managed to get to 4 schools in 5 years. A long time before the transfer portal.
I know Jeff has got a smile on his face. Couple substitutions. Mason Gillis, Camden Heidi have come in for the Boilermakers. Edey with the screen and Smith with a 3. Osibor again cleans it up and goes the other way. Abuje will drive and spin and feed. Osibor inside, 1 pass, 2 men. Warrior by midcourt. Gillis, who's playing well, brings us home.
See, I think this is really important. Edey got you. He beat you. He had position. Do not foul him. Those fouls are going to kill you later in the game. He got you beat. Give him the bucket. Inbound the ball. Let's go up into our offense. I think the 2 main things, if it were me preparing against Zach Edey, is keep him off the free throw line, and then how do we keep him off the boards?
Osibor picked up the foul. By the way, we just talked about your brother, Jeff, and you can see the incredible career, the resume, the decorated play of Zach Edey, but Matt Painter actually called you brother because your brother, Jeff, had coached Yao Ming with Houston.
Yeah, and again, Matt Painter, one of the most knowledgeable guys in the game, but he wanted to talk to people about what you do with big centers who are, you know, I don't want to say anything derogatory because Yao was a great player also, but not the most mobile guys in the world. And you know you're going to see double teams. Matt Painter's done a tremendous job, not only in developing Zach Edey, but they are so precise in their spacing around him because they know he's going to see a lot of double teams.
Heidi is defending Brown. And his way is Edey at 7'4". Purdue flies inside. Edey grabs the rebound. 4 for him already.
So you're not going to make all those shots, but you need to make a high percentage of those shots. Because Osibor, he's going to be able to do whatever he wants. Edey is playing off of him.
Smith will take it in. Falsov had a hand on it with the rejection. And here come the Aggies the other way. Martinez the fake. It was the defense. The 2-trap.
That's a tough shot, but you got to make that one. That mid-range shot is going to be available against Purdue.
Martinez now has the last 11 points for Utah State in blue. Edey inside. Oh, and it can get gnarly in there, and you can see he was backing up, and every time he gets the ball, he feels somebody. 11:14 to play in the first half. Utah State, Purdue on CBS. Moments ago, Andy caught up with Purdue coach Matt Painter.
Matt, in the last 3 possessions, 2 of the last 3, you were contesting the shots. Actually, in all 3, they scored on that last one. What must you do a little bit better defensively?
Well, I think Martinez has gotten going. Like, he's made some tough shots right there. We've been on him, but he's really made a lot of contested pull-ups and those threes right there. Obviously, I didn't think we fouled on that 3, but that's obviously my perspective. But, you know, just got to do a better job of kind of getting him out of the groove. He's the guy that's, you know, been killing us. And then we got to stay on the glass. We've gotten Zach a couple shots down low that haven't went for us. We've had some nice shots on the perimeter that haven't went for us. We just got to keep taking good shots.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Here's your Big Ten co-coach of the year with Nebraska's Fred Hoiberg. Another great job done by Matt. 30-4 the record, Big Ten title. Like we said before, he was the college player of the year a year ago, the presumptive winner this year. And Edey, who's down low, and he has it against Osibor and draws a crowd. Heidi on top. Smith, who is 1 of 5 shooting. Shot clock at 9. Heidi. Little triangle work right here. Here comes Warrior. His first shot to go, and he puts it down.
That's his first anything today. We were just talking about the timeout. He had all zeros across the board. I think that's about the first time he's had the ball in his hand.
That was great patience by Purdue on offense.
Sure was. And they were so well coached. And I like it. Any time they can get Edey on a perimeter, they can get the floor spread out.
Edey up high this time. Warrior has it and slithers. Osibor is in there trying to handle Edey.
There's just not a lot you can do right there. Zach, he does a nice job getting good position. Even though he's behind Osibor, he's still big enough he can just tip it in without fouling.
Yes, and Dan, that's a great point. I think one of the mistakes people make against Edey is they think, okay, I'm just going to block him out and let everybody else get a rebound. He's going to reach over you. You've got to jump and go get the ball.
Edey, Smith. Halfway through the first half. Edey cutting down low, Heidi. And Gillis in the corner. Aduje will defend. Edey with a hook.
See, I can live with that, though, from Utah State. You don't need to panic and foul him. He's going to make some shots. He's a skilled guy in the low post. But now you've got already a couple guys sitting over on the bench because you fouled.
Brown, Uruguay, 3, good. Aduje puts it in. The transfer from Coastal Carolina.
And he is a sub 30% three-point shooter.
Not today.
Not today. Smith again, 80 down low, 3, the collision, the foul.
That's what you're talking about, Stan. Also Osborne doesn't jump, he just stays in front of him. Edie's big enough to just reach over him without jumping over his back. And what a quick move by Edie. We've seen, as soon as he gets the ball, there's 4 guys that go down to him. But that time he beat him by just going really quickly.
And he's really good with that jump hook. I still think you've got to try the best you can to keep him off the glass. You got to keep him off the free throw.
They're already shooting the one-on-one.
Yeah, and see, it not only affects, obviously, he's scoring, but now if you're trying to be aggressive on the perimeter at all, you pick up a foul. Now Braden Smith's going to the free throw line. Lance Jones is going to the free throw line. Fletcher Lawyer's going to the free throw line. I thought Utah State early on had some panic fouls against Edie, like, oh my God, he's got the ball. We've got to run down and hack him. Just got to play your game.
Lance Jones has come in. Lawyer has taken a seat on the bench. And sophomore Javon Jackson has got the ball. And there's Udije on top. Oh, he's got the mismatch on Edie. He takes it inside. And a foul called on Zach Edey. Udije was driving on the play. Number 1 against Edie.
Well, Purdue is having problems with the screen set, the pick set on the ball. They're screening Zach Edey for Osborne, and now Purdue's decided to switch it. He's in tough matchups. If I were them, I'd just drop him into the paint.
Everyone's favorite red-headed warrior, Knuckles, teams up with Sonic and his best pal, Tails. Stream the 6-part event series Knuckles, April 26th, exclusively on Paramount Plus. Stan Knuckles, that was your nickname in high school.
You know what?
Knuckles?
I would love to watch that, but we're already advertising for April 26th. That's a long way off. So, Kevin, you've got to text me on the 25th to remind me.
Smith, a fake into Edie. Rebound for 4. Out of bounds. It will be Purdue's ball.
See, Dan, I like that defense, though.
Well, you're absolutely right. Let him make him do something other than dunk it or shoot a free throw.
And that's all you can do.
Yes.
Don't foul it. They need Osborne in the game. If he makes that, he makes it.
Heidi to Gillis. Back out to Heidi for 3. Edie collects the ball. Jones is free, as is Smith. In the corner for Gillis. 3, Gillis. Rebound, Heidi. Nice check inside.
Well, just crushing them on the glass. 10-0 in second chance points. That's the difference in the game right now. But Purdue's got to figure out what they want to do on this pick and roll. I would not switch that.
Really small lineup in the game for Utah State.
Udije rejected by Edie.
That's a bad idea. Unless you can get a first step on him, if he's able to move his feet, you're not getting the ball over him.
And an Heidi with the miss here by Gillis. Andy moments ago caught up with the coach of Utah State, first-year man Danny Sprinkle.
Well, Danny, you guys already committed 7 fouls. How are you going to navigate that in the last part of this first half?
I mean, it's hard. I mean, you're going against a player of the year, and he's different than anybody in the country and anybody we've ever played. And so they do a great job getting him the ball. We got to continue to do a job chesting up. They're starting to get some offensive rebounds and second chance points, which you can't allow that in a game like this.
Thanks, Danny.
You bet.
Down and inbound for Utah State. Osborne will put up a 3 and miss it all. And Dan gave you the statistics earlier. They're not pretty for the big man. Oh my goodness, there's a quick foul on Purdue. And it goes on Braden Smith.
Well, that is exactly, though, how I would guard Osborne with Edie. I would leave Edie all the way back in the paint. That would also negate that pick and roll that they're having trouble with right now.
And now Braden Smith, he's got a straight path, and if he stays on that path, he's fine. But he moved over, he bounced into Darius Brown. Not a lot of contact there, but by rule, that's a foul.
Darius Brown definitely sold that. He's very strong. There's no way that he took him off his path.
Pass it to Javon Jackson, three. Loose inside. Templin tries to pull the trigger. Edey's got the rebound.
With the Edey in there, don't you have to get that rebound stand and pass it out?
Jones, three, no.
Yes, you do. And Templin plays very, very hard, but there is a saying, Dan, discretion is the better part of valor.
Sabor will have it. He works into Edey. The defense for the fallen Edey. The quick outlet goes to Moyer. He sees the lane and takes it through. Machetes his way in, but could not make it work. Foslov the other way, shifting gears. The trailing Templin.
Somebody needs to tell Templin that guy's 7'4" in there.
That's really an optimistic point of view by Templin trying that shot.
Colvin is checked in for the first time in the game for Purdue. Moyer got the screen from Kaufman-Wren. Edey, punching, shooting, straight.
Well, we talked about Templin. He's all go, but there's no way he's getting anywhere close.
Now, they've taken 3 straight bad shots, 2 of them by Templin. And then that, in my opinion anyway, is a bad foul. He's gonna shoot the jump hook. You can't stop it. He's a good free throw shooter. Quit fouling. No, those are panic fouls. Like, oh my God, Zach Edey has the ball, and you panic and don't make a smart play. He's going to score some points, guys.
It's a 4-point lead for Purdue. It is their biggest this afternoon. Utah State is led by 4 as well. Approaching 6 to play in the first half.
They're playing that small lineup again.
Foslov on the floor. Offensive foul.
Great help by Jones there. And again, they're going hard. He's definitely there before he gets his foot down. Great job on the charge. They're going hard. You admire the attack, but you've got to make better decisions.
Well, even if he doesn't, if Jones isn't there to take the charge, Zach Edey is there.
Lance Jones. There's a transfer from Southern Illinois. Down low, Kaufman-Wren sheds the D and crowbars it in.
They're just wearing them out inside and on the glass.
Brown tees one up. Lawyer hits the deck, foul called, out of zone.
But see, here's my point. That's a rebounding foul. And now Fletcher Lawyer, who's a great free throw shooter, gets to shoot 2 free throws because of the numerous panic fouls you've had.
Boy, Brown just bounces off Kaufman-Wren, and he gets another basket. Kaufman-Wren has been very effective scoring inside.
He's been fantastic.
Couch or courtside, refresh your fandom with the delicious Coke Zero Sugar. It's the best Coke ever. Try and decide. Fletcher Lawyer at the free throw line, and they go back to Sacco, who comes in for the Aggies, taking the place of Jackson. Lawyer, who won the Nash.
That's actually Burris, Kevin. It's 35, not 34.
Yes. Nigel Burris comes in from Idaho.
I'll go back to Isaac Johnson right now. The heck with the 2 fouls. You're in a danger point here in the game. You've got to be able to generate good shots, and Isaac Johnson, Osibor pick and rolls allow you to do that.
Martinez fakes and fires. 80 the rebound. Purdue's on a 9-0 run. They're approaching 5 to go in the first half.
And look, guys, you go down 15 or 16, this game's going to be over by the time you get to the second half and let those guys play with 2 fouls. I'm getting them back in the game.
Edey. Right on the doorstep and couldn't get it to go. Osibor comes out of the pack. And off to the races. The big man drives. Lost it inside. Colvin got it. Jones. Edey. Oh, from behind. Martinez down.
credit the way he ran the floor right there. Dan, he's running hard. Think he got him on that?
Zach Edey does so many things. People talk about his size, and yes, he is a very big man, but I mean, we've talked about it before. He's in very good condition. He runs very well. He catches the ball well. He passes it well.
13 points, now 14 right there, and 10 rebounds. And Andy, he's got his third double-double in the first half this season.
Yeah, 2 years ago, he split minutes almost evenly with Travion Williams, and it was in large part not just because Travion Williams was so talented, but also conditioning. And Brandon Brantley, the assistant coach who works exclusively with Zach Edey, was talking about how much he's improved his conditioning over the last 2 years.
Angel Burris, good story with Elsevier on top. Inside and over Kaufman rim. Colvin, another rebound.
He took that one dribble too far.
He did, and look, they're just not generating good looks anymore.
Utah State, 9 consecutive missed shots. Jones on top. Into Edey, draws a crowd. Colvin, 3. Number 1 seed Purdue on a 13-0 run, Dan, as Utah State has missed 10 consecutive shots.
And Utah State has been taking tough shots, and the Boilermakers doing a great job on the offensive boards. But this thing is, again, we're talking about offensive boards. Ivy gets that one, and Zach Edey has just been outstanding inside. He's got a double-double already here in the first half, and he could be close to a triple-double. He has 3 assists, he could have 6. But his guys have missed a couple of shots. This is just Purdue playing to their strengths.
They're doing a terrific job, but look, this whole idea that a guy has 2 fouls in the first half and has to sit the whole half. Dan, we were talking off camera. If it were a 40-minute game with no break, when could you bring the guy back with 2 fouls? I mean, it defies logic that you cannot play with 2 fouls with a minute to go in the half, but you can, a minute later, it's okay to play.
Brown. He's got Jones on him. 10 straight misses, as we said, for the Aggies. And Burris will let it rip from on top. Rebound by Gillis. Purdue the other way.
Burris is now 0 for 10 shooting for threes this year. But this is what the foul problems have created.
Exactly. You've got to use some extreme measures. Fletcher Warrior with a 2.
I've said it before, I think how far Purdue goes in this tournament will depend in part on whether Fletcher Warrior can make shots, and he has done that in this tournament. He does it again.
There's another 3, another miss. Kaufman ring will rip it off the iron.
Are we kidding now? Like, we're just going to come down and make 1 pass, and that's going to be the guy who shoots the 3?
Well, Johnson is over there waiting to come in.
I'm surprised they didn't bring him at the timeout. You had an offensive possession.
Burris picked up the foul for Utah State. Fletcher Warrior, whose grandfather played college basketball at Purdue, Al McFarland. And we step aside. It's time now for It Takes More, presented by Powerade. Offensive rebounds, coach for the Boilermakers. 10-0 in second chance points.
Yeah, and look, it's going to be tough to keep their size off the glass. But what really changed the game very early and has led to this big margin, as we see Gene Cady, one of the all-time great coaches in college basketball, coached Matt Painter at Purdue, was a mentor to Matt Painter, and was a great, great coach. But the foul trouble changed everything, Dan.
Well, it sure did. You have a game plan, and then the guys you're relying upon get in foul trouble right away, and then you have to change the game plan. And as you pointed out, Stan, all those early fouls mean every one of these little fouls now results in free throws.
Yeah, and look, I just think it's something that players need to understand better. I mean, probably the 2 most important things to me going into a game, don't turn the ball over, which they've done a good job on, and don't foul. I mean, this idea, oh, we're playing hard, that's great. But, you know, a long time ago, I heard the saying, fouling negates hustle, and it certainly does.
the straight, slips one inside Ossobo. And he was pushed and fouled on the play. With 2:44 to go here in the first half. 16-0 run Purdue. It goes on. Fletcher Lawyer is first. And great Ossobo will be at the free throw line a couple years at Montana State with Danny Sprinkle. A reminder coming up at AT&T at the half. Adam Zucker, Clark Kellogg, Wally Zerbiak, and Kenny the Jet Smith break down our first half. And they'll look ahead to the next game on CBS as 12-seed James Madison takes on 4-seed Duke. That's coming up on AT&T at the half.
And that was enough rest for Zach Edey.
If Ossobo's going to get the ball in the low post and score, well, no, we're not having any of that.
And Isaac Johnson comes back out. They're trying to play a little offense, defense. It's hard to do.
Von Jackson has come in for Utah State. Gillis is being handed there by Aduje. And Colvin again, athletic player. Lawyer into a couple of players and tucked up in by Edey. He's got 16.
Kevin, you drive the ball and the defense comes to commit against Purdue. You know, if you just get it up there, Zach Edey's going to gobble it up.
Yeah, you've almost got to help with the guy from the weak side corner there coming all the way over and try to keep a body on Edey.
Ossobo. Edey defends. That time he slips one up.
It's really a nice move. Ossobo is very clever on the inside as well as being strong.
Well, they were doubling him early. I would say right now with a big lead, Matt Painter has probably decided to let Edey play him one-on-one and not risk giving up threes right now.
Lawyer. Inside Edey, lurching ahead, double, down, coming, foul!
Well, look, I mean, it's just too many fouls. It's now 22 to 8 points in the paint. It's 12-0 on second chance points.
The officials are not going to, not just Zach Edey, but a big guy gets the ball inside. Somebody comes down from the perimeter. If he dribbles the ball, the officials will let the guard bat it away. But if he's holding the ball, they are not going to let the guard tear it away because that's a foul.
Well, that was a good call. You can't argue that.
Foul goes on Martinez, his third for the Aggies. Foslev is coming. He was the best player in the state for 12 years for the Aggies in football and basketball in Utah. MVP in both. Some kind of athlete. Brown sets up and on the fly knocks down a two-point shot with 1:18 to go.
I think that the screen there with Ossobo and Brown, I think that's going to work because Brown is going to get that mid-range jump shot.
Into Edey, Gillis the assist.
They love to feed Edey from the top. Matt Painter said they want paint catches, not post-ups.
16-point lead equals the biggest for Purdue this afternoon. Aduje with a three. Ossobo with four defenders around him, got the rebound. Foslev, three.
When they got the second shot and it worked out, I think when they get that switch and Edey's on Udije over there, they need to move the ball and get it back to Ossobo against someone else. And now they go to their normal 1-3-1 with Foslev in the back. That's going to be a little tough matchup for him back there.
Difference of a second, game clock and shot clock winding down our first half here in Indianapolis. The top-ranked Boilermakers, #1 seed. Colvin on the wing, shot clock at 4. Jones, a three. He comes it. The Boilermakers finish with a flourish. And Edey was at the very tip of their attack. And here Jones beats the buzzer and frames the three. Edey was a monster inside. 21 points, 11 rebounds, a couple blocks, and 3 steals. And Purdue is is 20 minutes away from a Sweet 16. Let's go to Andy.
Well, Matt, how'd you guys flip the switch in this first half?
I thought our defense was great. They went into some different things that they haven't ran, 4-on-5, 5-on-4 ball screens, and then they had us in the mix a little bit. I thought we did a much better job of just making them score off of us, but also breaking their rhythm. They were there. We gave up a 3 at the very, very end, but they hadn't got a clean look like that in about 10 minutes.
Zach was a little slow get going, but now he's got 21 and 11. He's got a double-double. What do you need from him at the beginning of the second half?
You know, just keep establishing that position, keep working, you know, keep going after every single rebound, get in deep position. If they want to take it away, be ready to shoot. If not, go right at them.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, thank you.
Boilermakers on a roll heading to halftime. And for the season, they've won 16 of their last 18 games. First half is in the books. We'll take you to AT&T at the half after these messages. You're watching the NCAA Men's Basketball Championship on CBS. Beautiful day in Indianapolis. Taking a look at the Dove Men Plus Care first half stats and the second chance points. Rebounding, all reflective, Dan, of a terrific first half for Zach Edey.
Zach Edey has just been a dominant force inside, and you say, wow, he's often a dominant force inside, but he's done such a nice job. They've tried a number of different defensive tactics against him, and he's worked around all of them, and then when they don't try to double or triple team him, he's just, I mean, he catches the ball so well, he passes the ball so well. It's just, I mean, he's really fun to watch.
He really is, and he's done a terrific job. I just think Utah State's got to be more disciplined with their fouls because they have a way to attack on offense, but they need their guys in the game to do that.
Well, when you take a look at the first 2 games of a player's individual performance since 1960 in this tournament, you can see what Edey has done with a half to go, with McDyess and Griffin right above him.
Those are astounding numbers.
Incredible. And here we go, our second half is underway, and Purdue is less than 20 minutes away from trying to reach the Sweet 16. Jones free to fire at 3.
Well, Utah State there in their 1-3-1 with Osabor in the back. The wing has to cover up high and turn and cover down, and didn't get there.
Martinez with 3 fouls, tries to put one inside with a pass, a turnover. And Braden Smith the other way.
That was really a smart play by Jones to not pick that ball up again. He would have been called for a trap.
Smith trying to gash that defense. Gets a pass inside with an easy 2.
Well, you're so concerned on the pick and roll with Edey that Kaufman-Wren able to establish great position in the paint.
And then it was Kaufman-Wren early for the Purdue Boilermakers to get him going.
Yep, absolutely, Kevin. He's the one who created those foul problems, not Edey.
Johnson with an air ball from outside. The big man could not hit. Jones the other way. Look at him first. Try Kaufman-Wren. What a start to the second half for Purdue. Timeout, Utah State. Marquette won earlier. Let's swing it over to Andy Katz.
Well, when I walked onto the court with Danny Sprinkle, he was talking about what he stressed in the locker room. He says, we got to stop being selfish offensively. We were out of character. And so it was much more of an offensive discussion in that locker room. You know, he was talking about that bad 5-minute stretch, but already we've seen here in the first couple of minutes, they're back to those habits from the latter part of the first half.
Trying to drive inside, false line. That is missed. It is a 33-11 Purdue run over the last 10 minutes, drifting back into the first half.
Well, that was the first good Utah State possession in a long time. The ball moved side to side. Then they got the drive. Falslove played to his strengths.
Jones with a whistle, a lot of contact in there. As Edey was getting scraped with the defense and the foul. And great Osobor is from Bradford, England. After 2 years at Montana State, he transfers over to Utah State. Utah State did not have any returning points from the previous year. And Danny Sprinkle said yesterday, I just started from scratch.
Sort of.
Kind of.
Because he brought his whole staff with him, and really those two players, Brown and Osobor, with him. So what he did is, I look at it more as Danny Sprinkle was returning two very good players and had to fill in everybody else.
A lot of traffic as Fletcher Warrior hits the deck and fouled as he fired. It's Johnson's third foul.
You know, that's the situation if you're Johnson. You can't go after that ball.
It's a tradition unlike any other. It's on CBS again and streaming on Paramount Plus. Martinez on top. Osobor a screen. Rebound by Edey. He's got 12. Purdue this year had the same 5 starters every single game, including today. In their 35th game of the season. Waller on top. Kaufman right down low. Johnson will defend.
Johnson took a risk there, too.
Sure did.
Paulslab will try to split the defense. Across the lane, leans, dives, misses, foul.
A couple of times, Osobor has been able to get low and use his strength to get around. I mean, he's quick, too. He makes that spin move, and he gets his head and shoulders around Edey. Of course, little hook there. That's what Edey was complaining about.
He was, but Osobor's mobility has been a problem for Edey on, like you say, on a couple of possessions.
Osobor, as Dan and Coach were talking about, played for Sprinkle at Montana State. In fact, Osobor was the 6th man of the year in the Big Sky Conference and comes to Utah State in Logan, Utah, and helps him to a 28-win season.
Kevin and Braden Smith, he made a pit stop and changed tires. He's now got black shoes on.
He can stop on a dime and burns a lot of rubber out there. And he's got Brown on him. Goes inside the run. 16.
That's a nice pass by Braden Smith, and he did what you're supposed to do. You have to go by pressure.
Osobor inside with the hesitation on Edey. Aggressive rebound by Trey Kaufman. Ran 5 for him. Warrior swerves and fires. 10.
Warrior did nothing the first 12 minutes of this game.
Right.
And since then, he's been very aggressive and played very, very well.
Brown will muscle his way into the defense, and he sees Edey away. Osobor inside as they got Edey out. That goes in. And a foul on the play. And that was one of the things they were going to try to do, is try to lure the big man Edey out and have plays like that.
Yeah, no, that way, anytime you can get Edey stuck on a guard, I like what Brown did. What Udajay's been doing is just try to go one-on-one with Edey, which has been okay at times. But now, you've got to know, which Brown did, Osobor's got a mismatch somewhere.
Warrior picked up his second. Johnson tries to tap it up. Braden Smith from Westfield, Indiana. Indiana, Mr. Basketball. Highest honor in getting that state. He's got the ball at the top. He's just a sophomore. Got the screen. Opens the door.
Braden Smith, he's a little bit frustrated, and he showed you right there that he's a little relieved. He has not shot the ball well today. He was 1 for 5 before that one.
And that's a shot that he's missed twice earlier in the game, that exact shot. And one that is really his staple off the pick and roll, that pull-up that he knocks down consistently.
Knocked away by Edey on the pass. And the other way, flying was Smith. on the play and 15:24 to go. A turnover by Purdue as we step aside in Indy. Duke's game coming up on CBS. And the Big East 5-0 in the tournament so far. Martinez will wiggle his way down and have it swatted away by Edey. He is a one-man wrecking crew.
That shot made no sense. He didn't use his body to get into him. He didn't come under the rim. He just laid the ball up on a 7'4" guy. What did he think was going to happen there?
He was full of optimism.
A lot of optimism. Johnson.
Misplaced optimism, but optimism nonetheless.
And the miss right there by Martinez. Edey had the ball. The rebound gives off to Braden Smith.
Kevin Martinez scored 11 points in the first 3 minutes of this game, and he hasn't scored since.
Right now, he's defending Lance Jones. Smith and Brown. Screen again. Trying to get it inside. Hoffman-Wren was shoved and fouled. And fouled inside by Isaac Johnson.
That's his fourth. Yep. They've run that play a couple of times. Pick and roll with Edey. Everybody starts to rotate to Edey. And Hoffman-Wren just carves out space on the weak side. Really well-designed play by Matt Painter. Look, nobody runs more different sets than Matt Painter. And no team executes their half-court offense any better.
Fletcher Royal.
That is a great sign for Purdue. If he's going to catch that ball, look down at the line, look down at the court, step back beyond the line, and nail it.
And that's his first three-point look today. He's a 45% three-point shooter, and that's his first attempt from there. This Purdue team has executed so well today, really at both ends of the floor, but particularly on offense.
False trying to carve his way in there, but everywhere he looks, white jerseys. Possible three, and Jones retrieves the loose ball.
So his three-point total for the year, Kevin, remains at 3.
Look, those are just hope shots. That's what Burris took. They're just going to throw it up and hope maybe one goes down. Because Purdue's defense has been so good, they can't generate good shots.
Rejected by Martinez on the drive inside by Smith. Elsevier into Hoffman-Wren, collides with Edey, just rips the ball away.
Oh, come on now, that's a foul.
Lawyer, Smith. Hoffman-Wren. Sacco will defend. Sacco the rebound.
That's really a nice job. Didn't foul him, just kept him away from the basket.
Underdoor step in this right there by Falslad.
Great run by Falslad, getting down the floor.
The boys got the ball for the Aggies on the Mountain West. But the team is filled with transfer players. And then you got a team on the other side in Purdue that has homegrown players. They got one transfer, and that's Lance Jones, who comes over as a grad transfer from Southern Illinois in the Missouri Valley Conference. That's why men's games on your computer from Tablet's streaming device with NCAA March Madness Live. Download now to stay up to date on all the action. Elsevier will pick up his third foul. Hoffman-Wren will check out.
Look, Purdue's played well on offense too, but their defense has been overwhelming here in the second half. Utah State can't even generate good looks.
The one good look that Utah State got is they moved the ball and moved people around. They just haven't done that very much. The ball is stuck on one side of the court.
23 for Edey. Brown in the corner. Adouje.
Move it again.
Across the lane and over Edey.
There you go, Dan. They at least got it from one side of the floor to the other. Purdue is really loaded up to the strong side. You have to play to the weak side of their defense.
Gillis a three.
Well, they needed Gillis to get one moving forward. He's looked like a guy who hasn't wanted to shoot the ball. Came in, shooting 47%. Didn't make one in the first game, and today didn't look like he wanted to shoot.
That's a ball going right at Edey. Misses the shot, drew the foul.
He drew one from Edey earlier on the fast break that they didn't call.
This is what you're talking about. Gillis, I mean, he's a very good three-point shooter, but I agree with you, Stan. There are times when it looks like he's open and he's reluctant to let it go.
And they need him to do that. When you're playing around a guy like Edey, other guys have got to knock down open shots.
Aggies with the third most wins in school history. They have been ranked for 9 weeks this season. Purdue is number 3. They're going to take out Edey. Back in his Kaufman run. And the crowd appreciates what they've seen. And not just today. It's a culmination of all these years for Edey, a senior from Toronto.
Whistlemore's looked good on his free throws today. Not just making them, but I mean, his rotation on the ball, his arc, he's only a 63% free throw shooter, but he's looked good today.
Miller's on top. Knocked away Elseborn. Loose. Smith. Kaufman ring. Trudging inside. Rebound. Oh, and slammed in. Heidi parachutes for the jam.
Well, Heidi's a great athlete, and we saw him on the offensive glass the other night. In the Grambling game, he got a couple of offensive rebounds and scored 8 points.
Jackson with a 3. Javon Jackson, sophomore from Houston who transferred from a division school, Nazarene, Southern Nazarene in Oklahoma.
He's actually a pretty good three-point shooter.
Yes, he is.
Not a high volume. He doesn't play very many minutes, but he can make a 3.
Heidi, a freshman. And Gillis in his 5th year. Smith has it. Shot clock at 3. Hits it out. Camden
Heidi playing with the most confidence, I think, of any of the guys on Purdue's bench.
Heidi, you know, he's a great athlete, but he's also an excellent three-point shooter.
Martinez drives, ends up finds Sacco. He's got his first 2 of the afternoon with 10.5 to go. Points in the paint tells the story and the influence of the size of Purdue. Curling, feeding, Kaufman ring. The thrust is wide. He's putting together some kind of game. 18 points. Adouche. Oh, nice defense. Off the open palm of Braden Smith. Ricochets out of bounds. The Boilermakers winning in every category. And eyeing the Sweet 16 and 9:42 away from it. It's all Purdue here in Indy. Now look from our AT&T Connected Cam, giving us great shots all tournament long.
And one of the places, Kevin, where Purdue has connected all day long has been on the offensive boards. And this is a great move that draws 2 guys. Nobody blocks out Heidi. And Heidi's a guy who can fly to the basket.
Purdue, 9 assists and only 1 turnover in this half. 67% of their shots in, and stand 4 of 5 from distance.
Yeah, and Braden Smith had 0 assists at halftime. He has 6 here in the second half already.
Sacco falls leg, puts up a shot. With the rebound taken, Heidi down court. Fletcher Lawyer. And now in the hands of Lance Jones. Kaufman ran.
This is the first time Darius Brown's been out of the game in these 2 days.
Gillis. The Big Ten 6th man of the year.
And their best three-point shooter by percentage. coming in. They need him to shoot those shots in rhythm.
And that was a rhythm shot right there. I mean, good heavens.
Balslev will take it in. Jones will get the rebound with his hustle. He was a terrific defensive player, a Missouri Valley Conference, two-time conference defensive team member. Makes the move to Purdue. Moyer.
They're just firing on all cylinders offensively right now.
Yeah, there's no Braden Smith or Zach Edey in the game, and they're still having no trouble.
Jones! Hits the deck hard and bounces. Jackson picks up the foul.
You were just talking about his skill as a defensive player, Kevin, and he showed you right there, just stripped the ball. And that's one of the reasons why Purdue is a better team this year. They've really increased their defensive ability, and he's a big reason why. He can get out and he can pressure.
He's a senior from Evanston, Illinois. And they were talking yesterday. Matt Painter said the last thing he asked for was about NIL. He said, all I want to know is how can I help the team as he hits the free throws. And streaming on Paramount Plus is Jones at the line again, playing all season long with the heavy heart. He lost his dad in August and dedicates this season to him. His performance has been terrific. Part of the many stories of the Boilermakers season. A #1 seed, and now about 8 minutes away from a Sweet 16 as they'll venture to Detroit and play Gonzaga. Brown on top. Jackson in the corner and wastes a three. Kaufman right out of hand on it. They get it with Colvin, and now to Jones.
And Kevin, of course, that Gonzaga team started a little bit more slowly than Gonzaga teams are wont to do. There's another three. So the rematch between Purdue and Gonzaga will be interesting.
And Miles Colvin, another 40% plus three-point shooter. They have made sure after last year being 291st in three-point percentage, they knew with a guy like Zach Edey, they needed to have shooters around him, and everybody that plays around him can shoot the ball.
Kaufman ran. Black congestion in there. That's finally swiped. Aduje. Jackson. Hey! Picked up by Colvin. And played in the NFL. In the corner, open three. And he couldn't get it. Saved by Gillis. What hustle.
This Purdue team still playing really, really hard, even with a 39-point lead.
Jones will size it up. The collision into false line. Shot clock in one. Colvin. It's off of Utah State and Purdue's ball. 6.5 to go. Game summary. Look at the numbers for Zach Edey. 23 points and 14 rebounds. And Andy Katz, he has been dominant.
From day one, even during the recruiting visit, okay, his mother, Julia Edey, told a great story 5 years ago when they went on the recruiting visit. They went to an inter-squad scrimmage. And there was a little kid who asked for Zach Edey's autograph. And Zach said, hey, I'm not even on the team. He signs the autograph. After he turns to his mom, Julia, and says, that kid just got an autograph from a nobody. Well, I think we can say right now, he's a somebody.
Yes.
Without question. Has a chance to be back-to-back Player of the Year, which is an exclusive club in the sport of men's college basketball.
And Andy, there's that report, if I can keep you on here as they turn the ball over, that he was in the top 400 high school players in the country, correct?
That is correct. I mean, he had skills, but it was incredibly raw. And he came for this visit. Travion Williams was going to be here, and so he knew he was not going to be the dominant presence. His mother, Julia, has been incredibly devoted to him. She moved from Toronto. Zach was telling me it's been so, it's helped him so much to have a friendly face, home-cooked meals. She gets an Airbnb each season in the West Lafayette area. She goes to the road games, the home games, and she was the one parent that spoke at senior night when they beat Wisconsin a couple Sundays ago.
That's a great story. Thank you so much. And Edey, of course, once he got his footing, played at IMG, the academy down in Florida. He backed up Armando Bacot, who now, of course, plays at North Carolina. But that's who he was playing behind, and enjoyed that as he learned a lot. Brown throws up another shot, and another shot goes in, this time from distance.
It's good to see that, but it's way too late, and they could have used that earlier in the game.
I think the defensive pressure from Purdue has backed off a little bit, and that's one of the reasons why Brown wasn't quite as big a factor as Jones in particular. I think did a great job against him.
Heidi's a good player. He's going to have a nice career at Purdue.
His dad went to Purdue as he was a high school player of the year in Minnesota. Played in Rosetta, Minnesota, Rosetta High School.
You know where that is?
I do. I do know.
All right, because I have no idea.
It's just outside Minneapolis.
All right, well, I know where Minneapolis
and believe
is.
me, if you went to Rosetta, you would know. It is a beautiful suburb.
Okay.
First is in Morton in now for the Purdue Boilermakers. And Brown again with a three. He's a three in 2 consecutive threes.
Well, he's capable of doing that. I really fell in love with this guy watching the film. Solid, takes care of the ball. Pass first guy who can shoot the ball. He can really defend.
Lands hard and on his backside. Slow to get up, and I can see why. Rugged player.
That's pretty good block in there.
It was. Brenchley is the one who got the block. Number 0, Landon Brenchley, sophomore from Providence, Utah. On again. They get a little tired on that. That was a heat check there.
Yeah, that's... Lance Jones gets his ovation as he leaves the game, the last starter to leave the game.
So now Brian Waddell will check in. With the ball is Ethan Morton. Heidi remains. First is in the contest as well. Colvin is on the side. Ball was poked, and so Morton, a former Pennsylvania Mr. Basketball, is at the line and kicks it out on the wing to Colvin.
Colvin's good. Athletic. Now he's athletic. He can shoot the ball. I was watching him shoot the ball yesterday at practice. I mean, it's legit. This guy can shoot. He's athletic. He seemed extremely focused in their walkthrough. Another guy who's going to have a really nice career at Purdue.
You know, you talk about a rhythm three. I mean, he was lining that one up before he caught the ball.
Udeja will go the other way, and he puts it in after the steal. 4 minutes to go. This lead for Purdue here this afternoon, 41 points. Early on, Utah State led by 4. Waddell, 3.
This is just a show now. Everybody knocking down threes. So 11th one tonight.
Adusha will drive. Backed away and fouled as he flew. 3.5 to go. 3:35 to go here in the second half. Purdue in complete control, clearly with the score. Game reset right there.
Utah State wishes they could get a game reset.
The most points Purdue has ever scored in an NCAA tournament game was back in 1987 against Northeastern, 104. And Matt Painter's crew, they got some time to hit that and pass it. Adusha from London, England. And Landon Brenchley will check back in.
Danny Sprinkle shared an embrace with Darius Brown. He really appreciates what he did. He said when he got the job, he just told Darius Brown, I need you, and that's all Darius Brown needed to hear, and he came with him.
Captain Heidi swinging it around Colvin. Down low, Caleb first. A junior from Fort Wayne. Doubled, sandwich, kicked out. 7 on the shot clock.
And this is Brown's last college basketball game. He is a graduate student.
He is. Heading north. Northridge, Cal State Northridge, 4 years. Also coming in now, Will Berg, a freshman from Stockholm, Sweden. A lot of national and international experience in Sweden. Part of the program, and a freshman, and 7'2". There he is, he's got the ball, and spins on top.
Nice looking move right there. Right shoulder turn, jump shot.
100 points, they go inside Martinez. Morton, Colvin, it's a 3. So this is the 4th time in this year's tournament team has posted 100 points or more. 4th time since 2009. Falswell with a 3. And the 4th team this tournament that has done it, and the most since 2009, the 4 teams to do it. So offense.
We've had 3 of them here in our 6 games.
Yes, we have.
We bring the offense. That's what we do. We bring the
Florida,
offense.
Purdue, and Alabama. Was the other to do it. Then pick up the foul. 2:16 to go.
In fact, Dan, I've had several people tell me that they find us offensive.
You know our bosses watch this show, right?
Yes, I do.
Okay,
yes,
right.
I am aware.
Yeah. Wilbur. And they also bring in Chase Martin.
Danny Sprinkle taking the time to greet each of these guys as they come off the floor and really talk to them. I think he's really appreciated this team that, as you said, Kevin, had to come together very quickly and has accomplished so much. They were the regular season champions in a league that got 6 bids. Not easy to do, and he's not going to let a really bad game today overwhelm what has been an outstanding season for Utah State.
And I think that's really important for everybody to understand. Yeah, for everybody except one team, this tournament is going to end in this tournament. But that doesn't change the fact that everybody in this tournament has had a really good season.
It's collected by Berg. Carson Barrett is in, a senior from Lafayette. His dad was his high school coach. He goes inside, and it was knocked away by Templar. Brensley and Jackson Grant, a former McDonald's All-America. Outside Templin's 3. The rebound for Berg. So when Zach Edey leaves, they've got a 7-2 guy that will try to fill that spot. Here's Chase Martin in the game. His dad is Quanzo Martin, former head coach at Cal, Tennessee, Mizzou.
I'll tell you, Purdue came in here carrying a heavy weight. They carried it all year since losing to the 16 seed last year. And they have left no doubt in either game. They've absolutely dominated. And now they'll move on to the Sweet 16. Matt Painter was showing right there. One of the best coaches in America. He's done a great job with this program. And now they go on to play another one of the real consistent winners in this country in Gonzaga. Should be a great game in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, it should be, Stan. As we mentioned, they played earlier this year. They played out in Hawaii. Purdue a 10-point winner. But this is a different Gonzaga team. Of course, a different Purdue team, too. But I thought in the first half against Grambling, we're talking about what their experience was last year, the Boilermakers. I thought they were a little bit of nerves. But once they got rolling, I mean, they really got rolling, and they haven't stopped.
Sam King is checked in for the Boilermakers. Here's Waddell, and here's King. With Berg shuffling in. Fake by Waddell. His dad played with Matt Painter back in the mid-90s at Purdue.
I coached against Purdue teams in the mid-90s. Glenn Big Dog Robinson, whose son has committed to Purdue for next year. Good player out of Atlanta. They're excited to have him.
Martin's got the ball. The senior takes it. It's picked up by King. Sam King. He is a preferred walk on. And he had the same spot at Northwestern, but chose Purdue. Long shot, short. That's it. On their feet in full flow, the Boilermakers are going to the Sweet 16. It's the most points ever by Purdue in an NCAA tournament game. Zach Edey had a double-double in the first half, and they cruise to the win, and now they sit to face Gonzaga. 9th consecutive Sweet 16 for the Bulldogs. That's in Detroit, and it's Friday. Producer today was Ken Mack, and our director was Mike Arnold. We thank them and our great CBS crew for a wonderful time here in Indianapolis. Great job, gents. We thank you so much. Purdue is going to the Sweet 16. Last time they were there a couple years ago. And they get their 31st win of the season, the most ever in a season for the Boilermakers. And our congratulations to the Aggies of Utah State. Let's go to Andy.
Well, Matt, how heavy has the burden been of trying to get out of this first weekend?
Yeah, it's, for us, it was just, trying to get better. Really trying to analyze where we were last year when we lost and last couple years and getting to those positions. And every coach does it. Every year besides the national champion, and Danny probably did it also. You look and you're like, how can we get better? How can we improve? No matter what kind of season you have. And all of our guys have worked really hard. Zach had a great experience with the Canadian national team. We went on an international trip. But, just trying to get as skilled as possible and put as many weapons out there around Zach. Braden Smith's been great. But our whole team's been great. Just proud of our guys and their effort and looking forward to the challenge because obviously Gonzaga's got a great team and a great coach.
I was there in Hawaii, saw you beat them, but both teams are much different. How do you beat them in the Sweet 16 in Detroit?
Well, I think for them, like the way they look, they've shortened their rotation. They're playing bigger. But they're playing more efficient. Like the way they're shooting the basketball, the way they're playing. I watched them a couple times during the year. He's a fabulous coach. It's going to be a very, very difficult game, on both sides for us. We got to do a good job of. Their guards are really good. I think they're a different team than we saw, but I also think we're a different team and we've made some improvements.
All right, thanks, Matt. I'm going to bring in Zach here. Zach, we've talked a lot over the last year since that loss to FDU. How much pressure did you feel to get out of this first weekend to get to the Sweet 16 after what happened last year?
No pressure, just basketball. We just did what we're supposed to do. We're going to keep moving on.
You do what you're supposed to do, which is dominate in the post. How would you assess your performance here in Indy?
Again, we got the win. I feel like a broken clock, but we got the win. That's all that matters.
Appreciate it, Zach.
Thank you.
Andy, we thank you very much. They get ready for Gonzaga. Coming up next here on CBS, James Madison and Duke. For Dan Bauer, Stan Van Gundy, Andy Katz, and Gene Steratore. Kevin Harlan saying good afternoon from Indianapolis. We'll take you to our studio after these messages on CBS.